Are we live?
We are
We're
live.
live. What's up, my man Jay?
What up, Zach? What up, Mike?
Yo, guys, episode number 2 of the FireCast. I got a guest host, my man Mike. Mike, what's up,
guys?
bro?
Not much, man.
How's it
Just
going?
waiting to drive in. Nice 9-hour drive down the road here. I'm excited to be at the Iron Valley for the first time.
Where you
Excited
from,
to see
Mike?
it, man. I'm from Pennsylvania, a little small town in central Pennsylvania.
And why'd you drive in?
Well, training with my boy Zach.
Oh,
Get a good
he's
lift
on the
session
team.
in.
He's on
I
the
love
team.
it.
At a real fucking gym.
Yes, sir.
So what's up, Jay? How's it going, man?
Yeah, man, things have been well. I just been hustling, keeping busy. I think we touched on a little bit last time is having the multiple streams of income. So I've been busy in a few different fields. I had a good month last month with the online training, record month. That's continuing to grow, to build real estate. I think I touched on a little bit last time. Real estate agent on the side. I got a house closing here soon. I got another listing coming up. So things have been busy, man. I just been hustling, grinding, trying to build a good basis and just keep working. Training wise, things have been good. I'm actually trying to up my weight a little bit right now. I know a lot of you guys follow my carb life stuff and you see what I'm eating. Our shoot got pushed back until September, I think about September 15th. So I'm going to add on a little bit of weight. Yeah, look at them guns. I'm going to try to add on a little bit of weight so then my numbers will go up a little bit. My squat's been struggling a lot. My deadlift's been struggling just because my body weight's so low. So I'm adding on a little bit of weight. The last few days, my squat's been feeling way better. Deadlift's been feeling good. So numbers are starting to go up. Training's been good, man. I'm in a good rhythm right now. What's been up with you? What's been up with Mike? You guys been getting swole? Damn, I can't even handle the swollenness, bro. The fucking tank top.
Dude, I just want to cover real quick. I know this is not even on topic, but you talk about gaining some weight.
Yeah.
And whenever you drop weight and you're worrying about your numbers, because a lot of guys, I want to lose weight, but stay strong. Well, it's very hard because you ruin your leverages. As you're losing weight, your leverages change just as you're gaining weight. Except for when you're gaining weight, you will have like a little bit of time where your leverages are off and you might not be as strong. But once you learn your leverages, obviously you get stronger. So when you are losing weight, you're losing leverages.
That's something I've noticed, man. Like, because even like when I gain the weight back, it still takes me a little while to adjust just because the leverage points are so much different. So yeah, that's something I've definitely noticed in my experiences is the whole leverage thing. That's a good point.
Yeah, for sure, man. So what I got going on right now, we're still working on the clothing line.
Ooh.
About the next 3 weeks. Still haven't told you guys the name yet, but I will be telling you. You'll be here first too. I got a seminar tomorrow at the Iron Valley. That's pretty hyped about that. I'm up my one-on-one training here at the Iron Valley too. I'm up to 11 people one-on-one.
Oh.
Just working through that different streams of income too, man. Same way. Mike's a little bit different. Mike works, he works basically a 9-to-5 job. So Mike, hit on it. What you're doing in your 9-to-5 and how you're grinding after.
Yeah, it's not even a 9-to-5. I actually work 12s, and it's a swing shift.
Hustling.
So we're and twice a month. So it's a good time. It's something that I don't really enjoy, but it pays the bills for right now while I'm working on other things on the side.
What do you got going on?
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Snapchat word of the wise that I throw out daily. I try to, just drop a little knowledge bomb here and there on whatever, motivation, fitness, whatever. Just drop it on Snapchat for everybody. I'll be starting a blog this weekend, starting with, something on Zach along with the Iron Valley experience, everything like that. That'll be dropping Sunday night. And
Dope.
my link for that is on IG as well as Twitter. I have the IG thing going as well.
So basically you're trying to, which Mike's saying he's working that 9-to-5, a 12-hour grind, but he's still trying to push himself into the industry, and he's doing what it takes as far as setting himself up on the social media platforms, essentially doing what Jay and I were doing like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, that's a really good point, man. That's what I was going to have him expand on, is because a lot of people that are going to be listening to this are younger dudes or in their 20s or whatever, and they may be working 9-to-5 jobs, quote unquote. But they want to get into the industry or they want to start a business or whatever. And I mean, there's going to be a transition period. A lot of people don't have the luxury of just being able to drop everything and start a business or just try to get into the fitness industry like we are. They need that steady income right now. They may have a family, they have kids, they got a lot of bills. I have the luxury of being young. I don't have a lot of bills right now. So Mike, you kind of have like a vision. You kind of are game planning on how to get out of the quote unquote, again, 9-to-5 job.
Absolutely.
So touch on that a little bit.
I think the biggest thing that people need to realize if they're in that situation is you can't let that situation dictate if you hit your goals or not. You got to take
boom. That's the knowledge.
you got to make it happen one way or another. Whether that's working a little extra after work, on your days off, doing some extra stuff like I do right now, It's just, you got to make it happen. There's no excuses if you want to hit those goals.
Yeah, let me follow up with that. Whenever I get this didn't happen overnight for me. Not that I'm even nowhere in this situation or the position I want to be in, but this is 11 years in the making. I've been training since I've been 12, 13 years old. So this does take time. It's good things. If it's immediate success, it's probably not going to last very long. It's just like going viral, but not having the content to back it up.
Yeah, for sure. So I think the biggest point behind all that is just having a vision, like knowing what you want to do. Like Mike, I think you have a really good idea of what you want to do. And then kind of just like reverse engineering. We talked about this last episode. I'm really big into reverse engineering. So knowing what you want to do, whether it's be in the fitness industry, start a certain type of business or whatever, is having that vision, knowing what you want to do, and then being able to reverse engineer back and figure out what you need to be doing right now on the side, on top of your normal job, to kind of move you towards that. And it's kind of like an exit strategy to be able to get you out of your job, or whatever you're doing right now, and get you to where you want to be. So I think the whole vision and exit strategy and reverse engineering is big.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, to me, step one for anybody that wants to do that, take a pen and put that shit to paper, right? Every single one of your goals down, and then go through and figure out, if there are big goals, go through and figure out sub goals for each of those on how you're going to get to that level.
I like how you did that, reverse engineer his goals, essentially, as the overall goal and reverse engineer. That's cool. That's a different approach to go. Nice, man. So what's up? What's next, Jay? I want to talk about positive momentum versus negative momentum in life.
Yeah, so this, I actually just recorded a little bit of a rant. I'm going to post on my YouTube soon. But basically, I just want to touch on the importance of momentum. It's just huge for me in my life. It's always been really big. And I mean, everyone's experienced it. When you have that positive momentum, it seems like everything in your life's going well. It just seems like nothing can go wrong. You're just cruising. But then again, on the other side, there's the negative momentum where it feels like everything's going against you. It feels like the world's going against you. You just have all this bad luck. And I think there's a reason behind that. I mean, like when you're doing the right things and you're building up that positive momentum, you could just feel it. You could feel shit build up, and it applies to everything. It applies to weight loss. It applies to your business. It applies to your personal life, your training. So I just think it's just so important, and people will start getting the positive momentum build up, and then they'll do something that they'll fuck up. They'll slip. They'll stop doing what they need to be doing and stop doing what got them there. Stop doing what got them to the dance, and then they'll lose the momentum, and then you have to basically restart. So what I was talking about with Zach earlier is I like the metaphor with a train. So it's really hard to get a train moving, but once it's moving and it's got some steam behind it, it's hard to stop. So it's the same thing with anything in life. Once you get that positive momentum built up, you got to work your ass off to get it moving. But once it's moving, you're just going to cruise, and it'll feel like everything's going your way. But I feel like that first step of just getting the train moving is so hard. And it's the same thing with weight loss. Like I talk about this with my clients all the time. Your metabolism is almost the same way. It's really hard to get going. Like you got to work your ass off like the first few weeks of a shoot prep or a show prep. And once you get your body dialed in and run in that right rhythm, then it's just going to kind of cruise in. I mean, you're going to have to continue to eat right and stuff, but it's not going to be nearly as hard as those first few weeks of just getting the train moving, getting the momentum going. So again, applying this to like just daily life, I kind of tied this in with a morning routine. So I think a morning routine, one of the reasons it's so big for me and it's so important is because it gets your day started with a ton of positive momentum. Again, once you get that started, you're just going to cruise through the day. So if you're starting the day, if you give yourself, for example, 2 to 3 hours of just personal development and just time to work on yourself in the morning, like before, if you have a job, a lot of people wake up, go straight to work, right? They won't give themselves any time to do any personal development or anything like that, correct? Yep. Yeah, exactly. So they're starting the day. They wake up. They got to rush to work. They're in a pissy mood. They're in a shitty mood. They're starting the day down here with absolutely zero positive momentum and probably some negative momentum. But if they get up early, they maybe get a workout in, do some reading, whatever they want to do, whatever they want to focus on. And for myself, I like to work out. I like to meditate, do some reading before I jump into my day. So I'm starting the day up here with all this positive momentum, and that's going to carry me through the day. So it literally just applies to everything. So Zach, you touch on it a little bit. I know. I mean, you got a lot of positive momentum in your life right now in a lot of different areas. So,
dude, it's staying moving. It's constantly progressing. If you're not, I truly believe if you're not bettering yourself, you're getting worse. And like you said, the morning routine's huge. Getting up in the morning, so many guys follow you and Corey. I used to never be a 4 a.m., 5 o'clock. I would get up that early, but I would just start working. I was never really the workout guy. Now I've been getting a little bit of like sub work in, maybe some core work in and stuff, but it sets the tone for the day. And you start out with that positive momentum.
Exactly.
And there's times like every once in a while, if I do give my body a break, not too often, but when I do, if I'm sleeping 9 or 10 hours. I wake up at 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. My day's like, dude, I'm dragging ass. I feel that negative momentum.
Exact same way, bro.
And I'm just like, I need to get out of this slump. I need to get out of this. What I got to do to get out of it. And I just couldn't imagine doing it every single day. And the people who are doing that every single day, literally the way to change it is just to wake up early, first thing in the morning, and just set the tone for the day. It comes with the mindset. I'm waking up early and I'm winning this day. I'm fucking this day up. I'm going to do whatever it takes to better myself today. And if you have a bad day, scratch it. Short-term memory loss. Move forward. What do you think, Mike?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm living that right now. So if you wake up in the morning and you go straight to work, for example, if you're working a 9 to 5 or whatever, you go straight to work, you're jumping out of bed, getting a shower, getting dressed, and going to work, and you're starting off the day having to work your mind hard right off the bat, rather than getting yourself up, taking a few seconds to kind of let yourself wake up. I sit down and read and have a cup of coffee. I'll head to work, and I feel completely different. And I just had this happen this week where I didn't wake up my last day of work. I felt completely different going into work. I felt awful. And it's a huge difference. It's something you really got to focus on.
You're a lot sharper when you wake up in the
Absolutely.
morning. Get some coffee.
100%.
Yeah.
You wake up in the morning and pound some Cheerios and run to the office. Your mind's not right. You're still half asleep, right?
No,
So
Yeah, man, you don't have any positive momentum at all. I mean, like I said, I mean, it applies to everything, but it's big, I think, on like a day-to-day basis of just getting the day started and setting the tone early, because that shit's going to carry you throughout the day. Like if you really have a productive, for me at least, speaking from personal experience, if I have a productive morning, I can have, I mean, even if I'm not feeling it that day, even if I don't feel like doing much, I'm still going to have a pretty good day just because of how my morning was and it set the tone. If I wake up and I don't do shit in the morning, I wake up late, my day probably isn't going to be that productive. Like you said, man, it makes a huge difference. And I think it just the whole positive momentum thing, this just really applies to everything, man. If you got some momentum going in your life, then and just double down on what's working, triple down on what's working, and continue to build that momentum up, and don't let off the gas, because that's where people really struggle. Is they stop doing, like I said, they stop doing what got them to the dance, and then they lose that momentum, and then they got to start back at square one again and push that train and try to get it moving. And it's so hard to get the fucking train moving, but once you get it going again, you get that positive momentum. Don't take your foot off the gas and just double down on what's working, and just continuing to get the train moving faster and faster, because it's going to be harder to stop the faster it's moving.
Dude, I love the double down. As soon as you make it, it's not time to stop. You made it now. If you've truly made it, it's time to keep pushing. Like you're where you need to be now. You can either reach back and help somebody else out, pull them along the way, kind of like what we're doing right now, in essence, right?
Yeah.
Or you keep pushing forward. You have the momentum. Just keep rolling with it. Because dude, Mike Tyson made all that money in one night, 13 mil in a night, right? Money. Just think about it. He had the momentum. He slipped. He stayed down. So
I feel like I've experienced that as well, man. Like we talked about, like we want to express our downfalls as well. And I that's something I've struggled with a lot, is like I get some shit going, I get a lot of positive momentum, and then I'll slip up, and a couple days go by and I don't do my routine. I don't do what I need to do, and I feel like the momentum is just slipping away from me. So I mean, I've experienced myself. It's something I'm always working on, is once I get something going, once I start feeling the positive momentum going, just doubling down and just working my ass off to keep it moving. So it's something we all work on.
I know this will be a question. What do you do when you get in that slump, man? Because I know I've been in that slump, and I know my answer to it. But what do you do whenever you get in that slump? And you might go a week, maybe even a week or two, or how these guys are rolling for a month and they're just in a slump. Like, I don't know, I just can't get out of it. Out of this fog. What do you do to bounce back?
I think getting back to my roots, man. Getting back to my routines that I know work. Getting back to the, like, for example, for me, it's the meditation. It's the obviously I'm working out every day, even if I'm in a slump, I'm still at the gym, but it's getting back just to the routines, man. And what got me to the dance, again, I use that term a couple of times. It's just going back to what works, setting some routines. And for me though, I know what works pretty much. It's just sometimes I'll falter and not do what I know I need to do. So for me, it's pretty simple. I just got to go back to doing what I know works. So if you don't have a set routine, then start experimenting with some stuff. Maybe try meditation every morning with some writing or whatever is going to work best for you and help you achieve your goals. But I think having the routine, going back to that morning routine and just routines in general, I think getting back to those are key to get you back on track.
Definitely, man.
For sure. All right, so let's move on and talk about just a positive mindset. This is something Corey and I actually talked about this past week on the Lunge and Learn show, and it's so key because people can have the best lives ever, but if all they do is focus on the negatives in their life, they're not going to be happy. That's something I've struggled with a lot. I think a lot of people struggle with. So Zach, touch on just having a positive mindset, man, and like just trying to focus on the positives in your life, even if you have a lot of bad things going on, but just focusing on the positives and just keeping that optimism and positive mindset.
Yeah, dude, I'm like overkill on positive. Like I feel like I've cut a lot of people out of my life, even blood, which I'm not saying to do this and I'm not even recommending this, but I'm so adamant about reaching my goals and impacting the world on a positive level that I almost have like a little bubble around me where I just won't even let negativity in. Because I feel like I'm that mentally strong. You know?
Yeah.
That relates right back to lifting. Like when I squatted 635, my next jump was 700 because I literally believed I could. I had the mindset that I believed I could. So I'm very more mentally strong than I am physically strong. But it can be a positive and a negative, being that mentally tough because you might be, forcing people out a little bit. But keeping that positive mindset is huge because if you keep on letting that negative, it's about who you roll with. Like if I'm talking to 3 negative people right here every single day and you guys are making $30,000 a year, I'm going to be making $30,000 a year.
Yeah.
If I'm talking to 3 guys right now and we're all making $500 a year, I'll probably make $500 a year,
Oh, definitely, man. Like that's a whole nother rabbit hole. It's just like who you surround yourself with. I mean, that obviously has a huge factor on your mental outlook, like your positivity and stuff like that. But yeah, that's a whole nother conversation is surrounding yourself with positive people, man, and surrounding yourself with people that are doing the things that you want to do. Like Corey, for example, with me, like he's doing what I want to do. I mean, he's like 10 years ahead of where I want to be. So I surround myself with people like that can teach me like basically how to get where they are now. But yeah, Mike, you touch on the positive mindset, man, because I know you're a super positive guy, man. You're always optimistic. So kind of touch on that and how you keep yourself optimistic and the importance of staying positive.
I guess my big thing is I've gone through that situation where I've had negative mindset for a long period of time, and I saw what it did to not only myself, but in general, my friends and family around me. It's one of those things that I'll never let myself get back into because it puts you in a serious rut. It kills any momentum that you may have had prior to that. And as far as keeping it, I mean, it's just a matter of making yourself stick to your routines. That's my biggest thing, and that's what I love about you, Jay, everything that you say about routine, because the biggest key to all of this is just sticking to your routine, staying with your roots. That'll keep you on track, keep you positive. You got to stay positive, though, because no matter what happens in life, if you get negative, it's just going to get worse. So
what did you do when you're at this dark time? I've been through some dark times in my life, things that I will talk about in the future, tough childhood, different things I want to talk about on next, episodes to come. But when you're in this, rut, you're a little bit older than I am. Are you 34?
No, 28.
28?
Damn, bro.
God damn, Zach. Calling him out for that.
Bro, what are you, 30?
What are you, like, 48? Anyways, I'm 24. He's still older than me, nonetheless.
Yeah, no, 100%. Absolutely.
Some more life experience than me, right?
100%.
But when you're in these bad times, I know you served in the military, different things, you've seen things probably that most of us haven't seen. What do you do, to get yourself? How'd you make that next step?
Well, I mean, for me, it was just a matter of realizing what the situation was and forcing myself out of it. I didn't like where I was, and a big one for me was I had a drug addiction to painkillers, and that's why I'm such a big fan of John Fosco's.
Okay.
Because that drug me down for a while. I saw it tear myself apart, a friend apart, and when you see that shit, even though you're going through it and you're addicted to that shit, it really takes a toll on you, and at some point you have to stand the fuck up and you have to say, no, I'm not going to do this shit anymore, and you have to make yourself do it. And that, to me, for me at least, personally, I had to make myself do that. I had to want to change the fucking mindset, the situation, and get the fuck out of it. And that was the bottom.
No, you have to, man. People can try to guide you and give you all the right advice, but if you really don't want to make a change or you really don't want to do something, then there's like with clients, man, like I can try my hardest to help them if they want to, for example, if they want to lose weight, I give them all the right advice and give them all that accountability. But if they truly don't want to do it and they're not really set, if they don't really have their heart set to it or their mind set to lose weight and they really don't actually want to do it deep down, then they're not going to do it. You can take a horse to water, whatever that saying is, but you can't force it to drink. So
that's the truth, man. I've noticed that with a lot of people I've trained too, and it's a lot of people come at you with I'm ready to do this, I want to do this, and you can tell the person who's like over ecstatic about it usually isn't the guy who makes it. It's just like it's a high they have for that day almost. So long time to achieve your goals. You got to stay. It's keep chipping away. Every single day it's got to chip away.
Yeah, I mean, I think the positivity, though, to touch on that real quick before we move on, I think the positivity is huge, though. Like, if you're an optimistic person and you're always positive, then you're going to continue to progress and move towards your goals, even through the ups. And there's always going to be ups and downs. And, I mean, you're going to be able to work through those a lot easier if you're a positive person, you have a positive outlook. But like I said, man, like you could have the best life in the world, but still not be very happy because you're whatever kind of negatives in your life, even if there's just a few and you have a ton of positives, if you really look at those negatives and just blow them out of the water and really magnify them and don't really focus on the positives, then you're going to be a negative person. So I think just having that perspective and just being able to step back kind of to oversee the whole situation. What up, Snapchat? And perspective's key, though, I think, with the whole positive outlook, man, because there's always going to be positive in your life. There's always going to be blue sky. So stepping back, keeping the perspective, and just really focusing on the positives in your life. For me personally, meditation's been big on perspective and living in the moment and being able to stay positive. But yeah, positivity is huge, and it can get you through a lot. So that's definitely key.
Let's talk about celebrating small victories. This is super hard for me. I think
too.
It's hard for a lot of people who are very goal driven to celebrate the smaller goals along the way, the stepping stones. So tell me, like, how do you do it? Are you celebrating your small?
That's something I struggle with. I mean, even today, it's something I'm trying to work on. That's just how I've always been. It's just been kind of ingrained in my mind. Is it's never enough. I'm never really satisfied, which is I think what's going to drive me to be great. At the same time, but it is something I'm trying to work on, though, and be able to celebrate the small victories, because when I do something good, I want to be able to pat myself on the back, enjoy the moment, enjoy that victory, celebrate it a little bit, and then move on. But right now, I mean, I kind of struggle with celebrating at all. I kind of just breeze over it, like, oh, it's not a big deal. In my mind, like, these small victories aren't really a big deal because I have the big vision. I know what I want to achieve. I want to achieve some huge things. So the small stuff along the way is really, in my mind, nothing. It doesn't mean shit to me. But I know that celebrating those small victories is going to help me progress towards the big goals, though. Because, I mean, if you don't celebrate the small victories along the way, man, you're really going to have a hard time. And you may struggle even once you achieve what you want to achieve. You may struggle actually enjoying that and really just kind of digesting the big victories if you can't do it along the way. But like Gary Vee, for example, he talks about like just enjoying the grind, man, enjoying the process, enjoying the ups and downs. But yeah, it's just something I've always struggled with. It's just never been enough. Even like back in like high school sports, if I got like second or third, even if it was like a lot of competition, I'd be super hard on myself. I mean, some people half glass, or people like that kind of see things glass half full. They'll be like, oh man, I got second or third. There's a ton of competition, yada, yada, yada. But for me, it's like, man, I got second or third. That sucks. I'm like second loser. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So shit like that. So I think it is key, but it also, I think, is going to help propel me to greatness because it's never enough, but it's something I'm trying to work on. What about you, man? I mean, I know we talked about that earlier. You kind of struggle with the same thing.
Legit, I suck at, celebrating small victories.
Yeah.
And something I'm not even good at. I'm just like, fuck it. I don't even work on celebrating small victories. I remember my last meet, I totaled 1,800 at 180. The very next day, I was pissed because I missed like a 740 squat. I think it was at old school. It was a non-sanctioned meet. I missed 730 or 740. I was in there the next day squatting. All I could think about was I missed 740. I totaled 10 times my body weight. It was great, whatever. But all I could think about was I should have had that. I made a few technical errors, and I was hard on myself. So I want to keep on pushing myself to that ultimate goal. And just along the way, even the small things like opening the gym, like it was great to open the gym, but I'm working on my website, my Zach Homol Power, kind of like a Corey G site. I'm working on my clothing line. So it's like I didn't even give myself enough time to even let
just like to breathe and be like, oh man, like I've come this far.
And yeah, like I came from a kid who had no money growing up, who's worked his whole entire life for everything, to making, to owning a house when I'm 19, a $170,000 house, to moving into the hood, to progressing out of the hood, to, owning my own gym, a dream of mine for so many years. And I didn't even let it sink in. And I was actually thinking about that the other day. I didn't even let this sink in. I'm like, whoa, dude, you're making it happen. But as soon as I started thinking about it, I'm like, but I want to do this, this, and this.
You see just like me, I mean, you see the big vision, you see the big picture, like you know where you want to be, and you have huge aspirations. I know we talked about wanting to be billionaires. So like, I mean, we're obviously so far away from that now, but I think just working on like just really appreciating those small victories, because that's going to make the process and just the grind towards that just so much more enjoyable. But yeah, Mike, you touch on a little bit as well, because I know you have some good input on this too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's a trait that's similar among every successful person, whether it's in business, fitness, whatever. They're not satisfied, and you're not going to be satisfied because you're super competitive and you have goals that you want to achieve. And whether, you have a small goal that you hit on your way to the big goal, yeah, you want to celebrate it, but at the same time, in the back of your mind, all that's spinning is, well, now I got to hit the next step. Now I got to hit the next step. And it's the same way for Zach. It's the same way for you. It happened to me just at the old school meet. Yeah, I hit 500. That's a big milestone for me. I've never done a 500 deadlift. And
fucking gains though, bro.
That's never over. Was like a 45-pound PR. Was it 455?
Damn.
Team won the day, man. This shit
bro.
ain't. Y'all want talking shit about 7 days a week. You see it right here.
But all I could think about after that 45-pound PR is, well, I left another 50 pounds on the bar because my fucking shoulders were over the bar. My back was tilted over. I didn't have my leverages right. I could have lifted more. And that's what I was thinking the whole time after that meet. Luckily, I have a wife that keeps me grounded in that respect. She's able to kind of point out to me when I'm doing that. But
shout out to all the good wives out there holding us down.
Thank you, ladies. But, yeah, that's a big thing for me. And again, it comes down to just trying to stay grounded. But at the same time, there's a fine line with that, too, with celebrating small victories. You want to make sure that you're staying hungry. You don't want to – see, the biggest thing that you can do to yourself to ruin your success is to celebrate a small victory and become complacent. Complacency will kill your success just as fast as anything.
Bro, that's like it's like if you celebrate a small victory, that's like the pinnacle of your life. Like open this gym, is that going to be the pinnacle? Is that going to be the top of the Mount Everest for me? Is this all I want? And that's what I'm thinking in my mind. It's like, cool, dude, I opened a gym, I get to impact that many more people, but there's 7.5 billion with a B people in the world. We live in a very lost world right now that needs positive, people involved in their life, needs positive energy. I'm one of them. Like, I can give back and I can help people. I can't be content with sitting just in this gym office, and this is all I got. Just these 100 people that I'm impacting. There's so many there to be impacted. And that's probably where my mindset is. Like, I get real hype about that.
So I think so basically bringing it all full circle, I think there's a happy medium. Like, definitely celebrating the small victories, but don't kind of like stay on that for too long. Don't get complacent with it just because you achieve something. If you got a bigger vision, stay hungry. Know that's just part of the process. That's like a stepping stone towards your big vision, your big goals. But definitely take some time. I think, like I said, it's something I'm working on. Take some time to celebrate the small victories and enjoy the grind and the hustle towards the top. But yeah, don't get complacent with it and continue to stay hungry and stay just at it and keep moving towards the big vision, the big picture and such. So that, I know you wanted to touch on something though, Zach, is the short term though. Before we move on, touch on the short term memory loss real quick.
We basically just covered it there. It's just like, if you ride that high of if you ride the high of the small victory, you're basically going to set that pinnacle of your life. So that's going to be it. So you really need to have short term memory loss. If you go in there, you're expecting a total of 1,700 and you only total 1,400, you can sit there and get down on yourself, and your training can be bad for the next 6 months because that's all you're thinking about is how bad you did. Or you go in there and total 1,800 and never total more because that's the pinnacle of your career. You really need to just take it with a grain of salt and keep moving forward. Have short-term memory loss, but the goods and the bads. I feel like that's how you
exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Both ways. Don't stay on the goods or the bads too long. You gotta have that short-term memory both ways and continue to progress and move towards the big picture. And that comes back. You gotta have a big vision. You gotta have a big picture, or else you're not gonna know how to get there. If you don't have a North Star that you're working towards every single day, you're gonna just be kind of casually coasting through life, which most people are because they don't have that vision. So,
dude, Jay, good. That's for real, man.
Yeah. That's a whole other rabbit hole. So yeah, so Mike, let's move into Twitter questions. Mike's gonna be reading off all the Twitter questions, and we're all gonna give a little bit of input on each one, and just keep this bitch rolling.
Rolling. By the way, Jay, bro, you're looking good, man.
Bro, look at them biceps, bro. I hit arms this morning with Riley and all the bros at Athens.
Mike actually has a question on Twitter. What did you say? You wonder how our hair looks so damn good?
Yeah. I'm just curious how you guys keep that hair so feathered and lethal.
I forgot about that Twitter question.
Dude, the hairstylist, she keeps me fresh. That's what
I got a new barber, and I'm loving this dude. He's from the hood, and it was kind of funny. So we talked about it this past week. He's like, white barbers, they don't know how to give you the fade, but then black barbers don't know how to cut white guys' hair because it's so much different. He's like, I could do both though. So I've been going to this dude. He gives me a legit fade. He cuts the top up. So if you're in Central Ohio, hit me up. This dude's the real deal.
Oh yes. All right, let's jump into these questions.
One is from Joshua Setledge. He asked, how did you guys start your relationship and connection with Corey G?
Oh, man.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Do you mean start, Jay?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
This was kind of crazy. So Dustin reaches out to me. The guy who owned Rocky Road Gym, Chuck Spencer, used to coach Dustin in wrestling. And Chuck reached out to Dustin and said, hey, I got a strong guy in my gym. When's your guys' next meet? And Dustin reached out to me, told me when. I actually went up and competed that day. It's funny. The first time I met Corey, he had a beard, so I didn't even like know his. And Corey's like, "Oh, you the legend?" And I'm like, "Yo, what's up, man? I'm Zach." He's like, "I'm Corey Gregory." I'm like, "Oh shit." Corey Gregory is like my inspiration. I didn't know the fuck who he is. I couldn't recognize him. So I met Corey that day, and Corey's relationship and mine, I guess we kind of just like he's seen it. Like I guess he just seen something in me. We kind of had a similar past, and we're both on that. He's seen I was on that grind, and what I was saying is what I was doing. I wasn't just saying stuff and not backing
Which
it up.
we're big on. That's a huge point for us.
Yeah, this is like another thing, coming out of my comfort zone. This is kind of like, I love to talk and I do public speaking and stuff, but I'm huge on just actions, way more than talking. So this podcast is a little bit out of my comfort zone, just so you guys know.
Same, bro. Me too.
Comfort zone for this. So yeah, that's my relationship with Corey, though. How about you, Jay?
Yeah. So last time I touched about my roots on fitness and when I started to go to old school. I started going to old school gym at about 17. Didn't really meet Corey until it's probably about 6 months into my membership there. Didn't really know who he was. He was pretty small at the time. He had not physically, but growth wise on social media, he had probably 15,000 Twitter followers, which is nothing compared to what he's at now. But at the time it was still like, man, this guy's kind of cool. He's got 15,000 Twitter followers. So I met him there. I didn't really start working out with him until probably 6 months down the road again. So I was probably about 18. And then I started showing up every day at 5 a.m., started working out with him every day. Just started grinding. The relationship just continued to grow until I started working with him at Muscle Farm. And I mean, it's just been progressively growing more and more. And at this point now, he's always been a mentor to me, but now he's like a second dad. He's like a brother to me. Obviously, like I said, he's my biggest mentor. So yeah, and it all started at Old School Gym at 5 a.m., just showing up every day and working out with him.
Dude, Corey and Dustin, they're the real deal, man. Talk about great mentors. I feel like for myself personally, I couldn't have two better mentors.
Yeah, both inside and outside the gym.
Yes, for sure.
Definitely.
100%. So we have MK33OSU. He asked, what's a daily routine of food consumption from wake to sleep? He knows that, Jay, you're on anabolic fasting. He's just curious what you guys eat regularly. Do you do protein shakes?
Dude, so I start my day off with 4 McDoubles. No, I'm sorry. Dude, so I like Dustin. He said on a Twitter rant one time that he eats when he's hungry. People are like, you don't count your macros, your calories when you know when to eat. He's like, I just eat when I'm hungry. That's very similar to me. I try to eat 80 to 90. Coming into this, we have a photo shoot coming up, so I'm eating clean as shit all the time, right? Mm-hmm. But so this morning, I guess to start my day off, I had 8 eggs, and an avocado and a banana. So I lots of protein. I really don't count everything. I know I'm around 500-600 grams of carbs. My workouts are intense. If you follow me on Instagram or anything, I do a lot of man shit. So my workouts are real intense. I burn a lot of calories. So I just try to eat clean as possible as often as possible.
All right. Yeah. So I don't really want to get too much into the details because Corey's pretty with the anabolic fasting. He likes to keep it exclusive to the members of CoreyGFitness.com. If you're not a member, definitely check it out. But overall though, man, I just try to keep it mostly clean with a lot of meat, a lot of veggies, a lot of nuts for my main meals. Obviously, if you follow me on Instagram, you see me eating a bunch of dog shit at night. That's just something I've been doing relatively. Hashtag Carb Life shirt's coming soon. So that's just something I've been doing recently just because I'm in between shoots and I wanted to enjoy some food because obviously during the shoot prep I can't really eat like that. But yeah, like I said, mainly a lot of meat, a lot of veggies, and a lot of nuts. I think if you can stick to that kind of basis, you're going to be able to get, it just depends what your goals are. But if you're trying to get lean, I would say that's a good thing to stick to. Obviously Zach is going to need more carbs than I do with the kind of workouts that he does. So it all just depends on what your goals are, what type of training you're trying to do. But yeah, for me, I usually stick between 100 to 160 grams of carbs usually. Right now, I'm probably a lot higher with my Carb Life meals, but on the reg, though, if I'm prepping for a shoot or I'm just trying to stay pretty lean, it's usually 100 to 160 grams of carbs a day with the meat, the veggies, and the nuts. So, and also the intermittent fasting has been huge for me. I've been on the intermittent fasting now for 7 months, and it's been huge for me. So I think that's something I'll continue to do. What's that?
Thanks, bro. You can tell it's been huge.
Hey, I'm trying.
Oh, yes.
Moving on, Mike.
This one's from Jake Andrusco. He's asking tips on getting out of a funk, which we touched on a little bit earlier. A funk in your training, feeling great rolling into the week, but he's wondering, once it fades, what do you do to get out of that funk?
Dude, I cannot wait to cover this topic because, believe it or not, guys, Zach Homol, who lives and dies for the gym, went through a huge funk man, it was when I was about 19. So about the same time I started working in the coal mines. Coal mines is strenuous work. I work steady midnight shift. I work 7/12s, steady midnight
That's
shift.
crazy.
Like, dude, I slept at night my whole entire. I mean, when you're in high school, you don't sleep too much at night.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I slept at night my whole entire life, and now I'm working midnight shifts. So my numbers. I remember I box squatted when I was 19. I was doing a lot of West Side barbell methods. I went up there and trained with the guys a good bit. I was doing shirt work. I benched 500 in a powerlifting shirt. Which for those who know, it's more spring. Box squatted over 700. Just at 19 years old, I was 215.
Legit.
I started working in the coal mines, dude. Midnight shift. I couldn't eat. Like, I was not hungry, right? For literally from 19, 20, 21, 22, for 3 years, my numbers progressively went down. I got worse for 3 years. I'm like, what's going on? My training was just so stagnant. It was so hard to find motivation to get into the gym. In this time, I was just thinking about my overall goal. Like, Zach, you're gonna hit, or you're eventually just gonna hit a fork in the road. And you're gonna take the right fork, and you're gonna turn it around. And you're gonna make it happen. So I kept going down, and finally, I just started doing like a crap ton of research. It's all the time on raw power. I kind of got a little bit away from the West Side barbell conjugate method. I still implement it, but not as much. Really started going back to my true passion of lifting weights, and I went on that 12-hour grind at the coal mine, and I got off work. Commuted 2 hours, an hour each way. So 2 hours, worked out for 2 hours. Then I was researching the rest of the time on how to get better at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
During that whole entire time, how I got out of that funk and made that turn where I had my mind set that with the positive mindset that one day I was going to be sitting where I'm at today. I'd put that feeling, the feeling I have right now talking to you guys, I put inside my heart, inside my soul that long ago. During those years when no one believed in me in the coal mines. Everyone thought I was, what? Right, you shouldn't even work out. You get plenty of work done in here. This is these.
I've heard that before.
That's all they say. But I just had that mindset and I just had that greater goal.
Mm-hmm.
Just really think about your greater goal. You will go through funks in training. I still do now, where it goes up and down. But get your ass in the gym. Get around some good training partners. That always helps. If you can get to old school gym, you shouldn't be in a fucking funk. You got Jay there, Dustin. They're gonna bring it out of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A really good group of guys. So get yourself some good training partners. That's gonna help. And just keep swinging, man. Keep pushing forward.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Jay? What you got?
Yes, you pretty much covered I would say all of the things that I was gonna say. But having the vision though is really important. If you have that long-term vision, you know where you're trying to go and where you want to go, and so forth. The ruts along the way, the ups and downs aren't going to be as big or monumental. So I think the vision's big. The training partners is huge. Having really good training partners are going to push you. Keeping it fresh, I think, is another one. I like to do different types of variations every few weeks and just always keeping it fresh. Always keep my body guessing. Mentally and physically, just so things don't get stale, and setting a date on the calendar, which I'm huge on. That I think can really look at those fucking doves. I think having the date on the calendar is big because that's, for me at least, that I was in a rut for sure for a few years until last summer when I set that date for the first photo shoot, and that just put me on blast, man. My quality of my training went up like crazy, and just my hustle in general. So I think having a date, whether it's a powerlifting meet, whether it's a bodybuilding show, or a shoot, whatever you're trying to do, I think having the date on the calendar is big. But yeah, you touched on it mostly, so I think we covered that pretty well.
The calendar is huge, man. If you don't have a date, make yourself a date.
Yeah.
Guys at the gym, we're going to do a mock meet on this day. Or we're going to do a mock photo shoot. Just take a date for yourself.
Yep. Mike, what you got?
Like Jay had said earlier, that's like your North Star then. That points you in the right direction, keeps you focused on what you need to do.
Yeah.
So, next question is from Mr. Dakota Fox.
Oh, he's on Team Win today.
Woo.
He is. I see him on Twitter, Instagram.
What's your favorite exercise ever?
Ever. I know mine right now. Dude, guys, this is true. I ran some statistics down this fucking show. But the deadlift will literally make your sex game go up. Deadlift, the bench. I'm telling y'all, I ran this study on like 30 guys. It's worked. Talked to their wives, their girlfriends.
I love it.
Mine's definitely the deadlift, man. There's nothing more manly than just picking up a bunch of fucking weight. For anybody who deadlifts heavy, they can probably contest that. They just love deadlifts. It's always somebody's, either they hate it or love it. So the crazy guys seem to love it a little bit more. I'm sure Jado, he probably likes core work because he looks real good.
See, it's weird. I hate training core. I just do it because I know what it does for me. Like I know if I'm hitting my abs every day, my abs are gonna be a lot thicker. But no, man, trying to pick one specific exercise is kind of tough for me. I would say probably either deadlift or squats. I like the competition and the competitiveness behind like the core lifts like that.
You have a squat, by the way, Jay. What, 165? What are you squatting? Best squat?
Did you say 165?
Is that what you weigh?
Oh, I
Best,
thought you were saying that was what I back squatted. I was like, shut the fuck up, Zach.
oh, 400. Maybe it was.
Yeah, no, my max back squat's like mid 400s, but I was a little bit heavier. Right now I'm probably squatting wrapped up and everything like low 400s, mid 160s weight wise. But yeah, I would say probably squat or deadlift. Like bodybuilding wise though, my favorite movement would probably be dumbbell pullovers. I love me some dumbbell pullovers.
Well, that's like an old school gym specialty.
Yes, sir.
Solid squat, Jay. 165, man. That's what.
Hey, I'm trying, bro. I need to come. I need to come work with you for a couple of days to get all my lifts right.
Oh man, it look good. What we got next, Mike?
All right. Next question is from Scott Lim. When y'all start having guests, he's going to be on that list. That's not a question. That's my.
We got you, bro.
Scott got me right there.
We got the first guest. We got Mike, so we'll bring you in.
All right. So Jay, Zach, how did you get started personal training? Do you guys have certifications, or is it just knowing your stuff?
I think we know our stuff a little bit. No, I started training actually. I was like a junior in high school, but I started training people. People were like, "Hey, Zach, you're in the gym every single day. You might help me out." And I was actually writing programs for the football team and stuff for free. And I did that literally for years, probably like 4 years. I used to put a workout of the day on my Snapchat every single day. So you want to talk about Snapchat, Gary? I've been on that shit for a long time.
Yeah, you were ahead of the curve.
I was literally ahead of it. So I learned it. I was putting my workouts on there. And a little bit of marketing, I kind of pulled my workouts off there, and everyone's hit me up, Zach, where's the workouts? I'm like, hey guys, I decided to start charging for them now. Dude, everyone who I was putting the Snapchat workout for came over and bought the programs.
It's because you gave out free content for the longest time.
Longest time for years.
You gave before you asked to receive.
That's how I got started in it. How about you, Jay?
Yeah, so I've been training since I was 16, pretty much every day, pretty religiously. I didn't really get into like the whole actually like creating workouts for other people until recently. I was just always just so focused on myself, and I mean not to sound like really selfish, but I don't know, I just was never really into training other people. But just as of late, man, I've just really enjoyed creating workouts for other people, helping people progress towards their goals and so forth. But just getting started though, I think they asked about certifications. I don't have any certifications, but I think honestly learning from people like Corey and some other people like Dr. Sharano and Dustin has been just huge for me in a sense of learning everything I need to learn. The certifications, yeah, they're cool and all, but I think it's just a piece of paper. Like you're not going to learn nearly as much as you would from actually firsthand real world knowledge in the gym from some legit experienced people.
Yeah. Dude, and cover on the certifications, you're telling me you get a whole entire certification online.
Yeah, what a joke.
Some book.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, so that I have a really, I don't know how I feel about that, the certification thing. What do you got next, Mike?
All right,
got a few more questions here.
We got Clint Slocum. He asks, first steps to opening a gym and how to find your true passion in fitness world and make it a career.
I covered on Instagram the first steps to open a gym. You guys need to realize right now, you're opening a gym not for you. You're opening a gym for your members. Because too often guys get, they fall in love with the gym. And every gym guy wants to open a gym, right? Everyone you talk to wants to open a gym who's in the gym. But they want to open it for them. I want to open this gym and do this for me, this, that, and third. Guys, unfortunately, unless you have a very substantial income, you're not going to be able to afford opening a gym. You need to do it for your members. You need to find a niche, what you're good at. I had a little bit of following on social media. My online training was up. I was able to take the chance to open the gym. And every month that the gym makes money, it profits, I put back into the gym for the members. The members see that. My membership continues to grow daily. I get new members, daily passes every single day. I have a daily pass for a new member here because I take care of my members. So that's the first step, putting your members first and taking the back seat to it. Mm-hmm. What's the second question? The best way to go about
find your passion in the fitness world.
My passion was lifting heavy. I love lifting heavy. I really don't like doing a ton of volume stuff as far as like flies and different things. I like to do man shit. That was my passion. Mm-hmm. So I capitalized on what I'm good at. I was built myself to be strong. I'm not going to try to look like Jay. Jay's doing what he's good at. I'm doing what I'm good at. So that's how I found my passion.
Yeah. I think focusing on what you're good at and your strengths and trying to help you find your passion is kind of hard. That's all on you, figuring out what you want to do in the fitness world. But getting started though, I think building your brand through the internet and just social media is the biggest thing. Having a blog or just an online presence in general is huge, because back in the day, you'd have to get into magazines, you'd have to be sponsored by supplement companies to really get your name out there in the fitness world. But today it's so much different with the internet and social media being so prominent. All you have to do is just start building your social media following and your YouTube and just all your online presence in general. And that's a whole other conversation, but just coming up with a strategy and just start putting out useful content that people can benefit from and just staying consistent with it. And over time, you're going to start to build up a loyal following and I mean, helping people, I think, is number one. Like, you got to come from a place of giving, and you got to be, I mean, you obviously have to have a knowledge base first, though, before you start any of this. I mean, I spent 5 years in the gym every day before I ever started posting on social media and trying to give people advice or give people workouts and stuff. So I think building up the knowledge base is huge, and then deciding what you want to do in regards to fitness and what your niche is going to be. Everybody's got to have a niche. Zach's got his niche. I got my niche. You got to have a niche, and then starting to build up that social media and online presence. So
100%.
For sure. We got next.
So I got one question from myself.
Ooh, I love it.
What is your absolute favorite cheat meal of all time?
Oh, shit.
Jay will have a better answer for this because
Jay has a cheat meal every night. That's not even
like I said, my diet's only like 89. I eat popsicles every night. Like, it gets
Yeah.
Same,
bro.
Of all time,
favorite cheat meal of all time, probably. Man, if I was really hard dieting, I like Big Macs a lot. Anything like super greasy, McDonald's. I like all that stuff. So yeah. How about you, Jay? I mean,
oh man,
go through one of the.
I would say, I mean, pizza's definitely up there. I don't really get to eat it that often, so it's definitely up there. Dude, the Krispy Kreme PB&J that I had recently, though, it was a Krispy Kreme glazed donut cut in half with peanut butter and jelly in between. It was one of the fucking best things I've ever had in my life. So that's definitely up there with pizza. So
that sounds good.
To be very specific.
Cool, dude. Sweet, Jay. So you have anything else you want to cover real quick before we hop off here?
I think, I mean, honestly, we did a pretty good job of covering all the topics. I'm loving the Twitter questions that are coming in. Definitely keep sending those, guys. I think it's a good way to keep everybody engaged and just cover things that people want to hear. Appreciate everybody continuing to follow us. Definitely subscribe to our YouTube and our podcast. If you have the Apple iTunes podcast app, subscribe to us. Give us a 5-star rating if you like the show. It'll help us move up the ratings charts. Zach and I are going to be working on putting out more YouTube content on the page. When I go to Iron Valley, we'll put out some other content aside from this on the YouTube page that's specifically for the Young and Hungry show. So subscribe to that. Zach, what you got?
Yeah, guys, like, subscribe if you like the podcast. If we're definitely down for constructive criticism, and we're looking forward to moving forward. Hyped about it. Mike, thanks for coming. Mike drove 9 hours. 9 hours to be on a podcast. That's pretty cool.
I love it. All right, we'll be back. We're going to start probably pumping out 2 episodes a week. We're going to figure out the logistics on that. So, like I said, continue to shoot us questions. And until next time, episode 3. Is that it? You guys got anything?
That's
it. Peace.
Boom.
Win the day.